Hey, what's up guys? With the release of Forsaken, Bungie introduced a whole new set of armor perks. For example, using your melee reduces your grenade cooldown, things like that. Two of the armor perks are very outstanding and as well extremely strong. The two I'm talking about are going to be Dynamo, reduces super cooldown when using a class ability, and Distribution. Distribution does the same thing, but on top of that, it gives you grenade and melee energy. As it says right here, all ability cooldowns. Both of these perks are only available on boots, and in today's video I want to show you guys how strong these perks actually are. For the first test, to just generally show how good it is with Dynamo, I use Vesper of Radius in order to get my Rift back very often to show the amounts of super energy gained by Dynamo. So right here I do use my super and then a bunch of Thrall charge me, and after I used my Rift you can already see the cooldown is very quick because of Vesper of Radius. And right here, I use my second Rift and I'm already past my grenade. Once again, I am charging up my Rift, get away because the arc wave of Vesper of Radius would kill all the enemies, and I'm already at my melee charge. And that right there is just 3 class abilities used. Right here, my fourth, and I am already around 25% charged on my super. And that is just using my class ability 4 times. Continuing this, you see right here I'm around 30-35% with my 5th usage, and it just continues over and over and over. Every single time I cast my class ability, this will give me super energy. This test being done on a Warlock with, for example, healing rifts in terms of survivability, or as well empowering rifts to utilize heavy boss damage, are very often used. So like I said, this right here was Dynamo, so let's compare it to Distribution and figure out if Distribution is the perk you want or Dynamo. Since Distribution says it gives you as well ability cooldown, I went ahead and started complete fresh with no grenade or melee energy. The same test going ahead, and you can see it is around a 5th to a 6th of my grenade and melee charge. So let's see what happens once again if we place down 5 rifts. 5 rifts on the Dynamo perk ended up giving me around 30-35% of my super, barely past my rift charge. This right here is number 4, and as well you can see my grenade and melee is nearly charged. I go ahead and get my 5th rift, place it down, and you can see it is pretty much the exact same. I killed around 2 enemies, so you would say I definitely got until my rift charge. At the same time, 5 rifts is all it took me to get my grenade and melee energy, and to mention, this does work as well on all other classes. So let's have a look what happens if we go on a Arc Strider. To show this strength even more, I'm using right here a loadout with 5 Paragon mods, which each reduce the cooldown of my Shade Step. On top of that, it is combined with Dynamo, and like we just saw, both give you the exact same amount of super energy. So let's see what happens. After using my super, I start the test to ensure a clean one. And right here you can see my first Shade Step gives me a very small amount of super energy. I sprint around and you can see though that my Shade Step charges very fast. And 2 Shade Steps don't even get me past my grenade energy. So what is exactly happening here, and why is it so much better on a Warlock? The Rift on a Warlock has the longest base cooldown, meanwhile Huntress Shade Step and Titan Barricades have a way lower cooldown. With that being said, the lower the base cooldown of the class ability is, the less super energy you're going to get from the Dynamo or Distribution perk. To showcase the strength of this perk on a Hunter, I am using top 3 Arc Strider with Gambler's Dodge. That right here ensures a very high amount of Shade Steps with the least amount of kills. So let's see how quick I can get my super. Each melee will refresh my Shade Step, and then it is a back and forth chain between both things. And you can see I get a kill, and the Shade Step rewards me with the exact same amount of super. You can clearly see each time the bar moves up in the same amount. It took me 36 seconds to get my super this way. Keep in mind, like I already said, every single Shade Step is exactly the same amount of super as a kill on these thralls, so I essentially killed double the amount without actually defeating that many. Considering the base cooldown of a super is 5 minutes, this is without any mods or anything, this is a massive improvement, and keep in mind, these are just very low tier enemies, and you saw they each give you just a very small amount of super. But what this perk on the armor does is essentially double the amount of super I got for every single kill. While I'm going to sum this up, I will let the same test run in the background for a Warlock, which will show how much more efficient this Dynamo perk is on Hunters. First things first is the base cooldown of your class ability is going to determine how much super energy you will be gaining for activating it. That being said, a rift on a Warlock is going to reward you with the most amount of super. Meanwhile, you have to wait the longest to get it back. At the same time, Hunters, for example on Bottom Tree Arcstrider, can improve their cooldown of their class ability by just simply sprinting. On a Titan, I would recommend to use Hallowfire Hard to reduce the amount of cooldown on your barrier, and that way the Dynamo or Distribution perk will give you more super. I sadly have not gotten a pair of Dynamo or Distribution boots on my Titan, so I wasn't able to test it out, but comparing the amount of super energy gained on a Rift or a Shade Step shows that it is clearly based on the base cooldown of each class ability. Meanwhile, keep in mind that Hunters can get their Shade Steps back very quickly, and as well with Paragon mods, the efficiency is going to be a lot higher than on a Warlock or a Titan, and because of that, they can gain their super with these mods the fastest. I personally think this is easily the best perk you can possibly have on your boots for one specific reason. Your class ability can be utilized, for example usage for your team and yourself. Meanwhile at the same time, you're going to be gaining super energy by just simply activating it. And now think about how often do you Shade Step, place a barrier, or place down a rift. Overall, I have to say Bungie did an amazing job with these armor perks because they actually enable you to make proper builds. And like I already said in the video as well, this is just on boots, so that leaves you with even more options on other armor perks. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.